What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Entertainment Plaza Games, where we give you your weekly dose of video game news. Now, I know it's been a while. It's been, what, like 2 weeks now, Brian? Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, man, it's been a while. Unfortunately, I had to go away for a couple of weeks, but we are back. We're ready to get this party started again. Um, Again, I'm Moses. I'm with my brother Bryan. You're watching the Entertainment Plaza Games. You can catch us on twitch.tv/the Entertainment Plaza. If you don't want to watch live or you can't watch live, you can catch us on youtube.com/the Entertainment Plaza Podcast. And shortly thereafter, you can catch us on all podcast services that you can think of: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, Mi Gente, MySpace. It don't even matter. Wherever you listen to your podcast, we are there for you. You understand what I'm saying? All right, cool.
Mostly.
Um, if you're watching live, please join us in the chat on twitch.tv/the Entertainment Plaza. But without further ado, we have what we got today: 6 stories on the Plaza Report. Starting with story number 1, Sega is developing. Let me bring the story up here. 2 new big budget titles, both of them being Jet Set Radio and Crazy Taxi. Now, this story is from Luke Plunkett from Bloomberg, and it reads: Earlier this month, we learned that Sega's big secret super game that has been in development for a while was actually a series of AAA games. Bloomberg is now reporting that the first 2 of those big budget games are Jet Set Radio and Crazy Taxi reboots. Crazy Taxi is reportedly a year into development, with its release still a few years away, and there are 2 further unnamed games, one of them a first-person shooter under the same umbrella. Sega sees Super Game as a label, not a single project, being worked on as well. The Bloomberg report states that Sega is looking at the Fortnite business model for both titles, aiming to develop recurring revenue sources and build online communities, like every other freaking game, right? Like everything has to be live action these days. Or not live action, but a live service. It says, note here that Sega is on record previously as saying the Super Game project is a place that the company may experiment with NFTs. Boo. Boo, boo, boo. But yeah, man, how do you feel about that, dude? Like, for me, Crazy Taxi was literally my first game when I first got my Sega Dreamcast. First of all, Sega Dreamcast, rest in peace, but that system was way ahead of its time. It's literally a console that, I mean, it was so far ahead of its time that we didn't know what to do with it. You know what I mean? But with the little VMUs and everything. But Crazy Taxi, playing them in the arcades, playing it on my Sega Dreamcast. How do you feel about this game coming to all platforms, but as like a live service game such as Fortnite?
Well, I mean, I think definitely it's going to bring a different type of audience back. Those who were kids back then have now obviously all grown up. And, this might be some of their favorite games, like you just mentioned.
Grown up.
And they're like, you know what? Now I can probably play this with some of my friends. And we can relive some of those moments that we had when we were little. So it definitely does bring a different sense to the gaming world, bringing it in as a live service. It definitely will shake things up a bit. So I'm kind of excited to see where it takes itself.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited too. I'm just curious as to how they're going to implement the live service, or how they will implement the Fortnite quote unquote service to, say, a Crazy Taxi. Like,
Right.
are there new tracks? Are there new deliveries you got to make, or new pick somebody up at Burger King, drop them off at Chick-fil-A? You know what I mean? Something along those lines.
Right.
Guylan on the chat says, I didn't have a Dreamcast, I had a Gamecast. 10 points for you, Brian, if you can tell me where Gamecast comes from. You got 10 seconds. 9, 8,
I'm just gonna
7,
take the
6,
L
5,
now.
4, 3, 2, 1. So Gamecast comes from Malibu's Most Wanted, where he goes to the white guy who's acting, all hood. He goes to the hood and he's like, "Yeah, I got a Dreamcast," and the gangster was like, "I ain't got no Dreamcast, I got a Gamecast." GameCube and Dreamcast, it's probably one of those
Oh my
bootleg
God.
ones, but hilarious.
Yeah.
So negative 10 points for you. But with that being said, yeah, I'm just curious as to how they're going to implement that live service on there. I mean, just about every game these days are live service. Who knows? It may
Right.
be a free to play game with live service. I'll be
Mhm.
100% okay with that. Um, but again, are you going to have new, tracks where you can, you know, do your
Yeah,
deliveries
I
or
can
stuff like that?
definitely see, I could definitely see them bringing in new tracks because I mean, see, you want that feel of that
Right.
like nostalgic type, but you're implementing something new to a game that never had it before. So if you're gonna do that, you have to bring something to spice it up. And if a new track is it, if keeping the original tracks that you had, but adding certain different checkpoints or different ways to interact with players in there, it's definitely like it'll liven the game up a lot more.
Right.
And like I said, it'll just bring in that target audience.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Guidance said it sounds like it will be free to play following if it's following Fortnite. Then yeah, I definitely
Hmm.
agree. It'd probably be a battle pass, something along those lines, and it'd be dope if they did, have like different cars, not just a taxi, but you could have licensed cars like a Corvette or a
Yeah,
Malibu
bringing a
or whatever.
Supra.
Yeah, Supra or a Punch Buggy, something like that. I doubt they'll bring in licensed vehicles only because that's expensive to bring into games. You know what I mean? Like if you want a
Yeah,
licensed vehicle, that can get pretty pricey. But as far as Jet Set Radio, have you ever played that?
I have not.
Yeah, neither have I. So moving on from that. So story number two. This one, Xbox. There's a report, and this is by Zach Swisen on Kotaku. Says future Xbox games might have ads. Text being developed. It reads, "Raise your hand if you're excited to see more ads inside your favorite video games." No. I don't see any hands. Well, bad news. A new report claims that Microsoft is building an advertising program to give select brands the ability to buy ads that will then appear in free to play Xbox games. And while the report says Microsoft and Xbox are being careful not to irritate players or disrupt games, it's unlikely most folks will enjoy starting to see in-game ads. Business Insider reports that Microsoft wants to work with ad tech companies to create a system that will allow brands and advertisers to buy and place ads in free to play Xbox games. According to two people who spoke to Insider and who are reportedly involved with the program's ongoing planning and negotiations. According to these sources, the ads could appear as digitally rendered billboards in a racing game or open world adventure. However, it's currently unknown what other forms these free to play ads could manifest as, or if they will include videos or audio. Business Insider was also unable to confirm if Microsoft and Xbox have started pitching advertisers and brands on the new ad system. Regardless, it's expected to launch around the third quarter this year. So that's not too far off. The third quarter is literally what we are already in the second quarter now. So that's in 4 or 5 months. How do you feel? I have my thoughts on this, but I want to get your thoughts on how you feel about these in-game ads in free-to-play games, and they specifically did say free-to-play games.
If they are free to play multiplayer games, I can tell you this 100%. If Raid Shadow Legends pops up when I'm beating up some noob, I'm tossing my controller through the TV.
That's hilarious.
Because like what I don't like the idea of putting ads in games to begin with. Um I mean, if let's say, I think Guylan in the chat said, like billboards in GTA.
Hmm.
Like if they incorporated it kind of like that, it wouldn't be bad. But
Right.
if you're gonna have to stop in the middle of gameplay for, a set amount of ads that are like 15 seconds to
Right.
30-second long, that's just gonna drop the appeal. And legitimately, almost nobody's gonna want to play these games because, I mean, you want to play it through. You don't want to get stuck, when you're at the peak of the moment and all of a sudden you lose everything. And it's like, well, do I really just want to continue? I had to wait 3 minutes for nonsense.
No, I agree. I really don't hope it's like a YouTube type of thing where you're playing for 3 or 4 minutes, or maybe say you're playing for 45 minutes to an hour. All of a sudden, the game just stops and gives you an ad for Coca Cola or whatever it may
Yeah.
be. I don't think it's going to be like that because a lot of free to play games are, again, like we were talking about before, live service games. So if you're in Fortnite or if you're in whatever it may be, you can be in some first person shooter or racing game. There's no way it can stop you from playing that game. The only way I can see that happening is if it stops that whole, lobby at the same
Right.
exact time for that 30-second commercial. I don't think it's going to be like that. Like Guinan said, I do feel like it will be on billboards saying GTA or Burnout Paradise or whatever it may be. That I don't mind. I don't really care. And actually, I think that's kind of dope. Who knows? Maybe I can buy a billboard in Grand Theft Auto 5 for the Entertainment Plaza podcast. That's dope. You know what I mean?
That would be cool.
And it says, Guinan says that put the ads in the credits after you beat it. I can see that too, but how many games have I beaten this year? 0. You know what I mean? Like, I play a lot of games, and I can say I'm 30% in this game, 20% at this game, 60% on this one. So I can definitely see, like, ads being put, say, even on merch. You get a free, again, Pepsi jacket on Fortnite or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I know that this comes with a lot of negative connotations about ads in games, but they are free-to-play games. So this may or may not allow these free-to-play games to become cheaper in the long run. So, as you know, a lot of free-to-play games require battle passes. You got to buy, your skins. Excuse me. You got to buy skins. You got to buy everything in the game. You have to buy besides actually just playing the game. So, if that allows, say I'm playing Halo, right? Halo multiplayer is free. Right now, you pay $10 for the battle pass. But if I don't want the battle pass, you pay the $10, you get no ads. If I don't want the battle pass, say I watch an ad, or before I start a match, there's an ad that comes on. Instead of a loading screen, you get an ad. Or, those ads will allow me to get a lot of this gear that I normally won't be able to get without having to pay for it for free.
Right.
I'll be 100% okay with that. Also, I feel like this allows, for instance, in Xbox Game Pass. So I don't know. They're not saying whether or not this is going to come to Xbox Game Pass games, but right now they're only saying free to play. But a lot of these developers that are on Xbox Game Pass, they're on there because they're not very confident that their game's going to do well outside of Game Pass, in brick and mortar stores or selling digitally. So, they come with an agreement with Microsoft. Microsoft gives them some money, and they're on Game Pass. Say they have ads in these games, that money goes to these developers, which most of the time are very small developers, indie developers that they don't have much of a budget. Now come a big company, like Chevy, and they say, hey, look, you're making this game, say a new Burnout game, which obviously it won't be Burnout because they're a huge company. They can make the game, and they don't have to worry about money. But say they come to a racing game, and you don't have the funds to make this game like you wanted, but you put our Chevy Camaros in there, or our Corvettes, or the Silverado as part of your game. We're going to give you this much money. Now they have more money to make the game better. Even if it's still on Xbox, they can pay employees. They can do all kind of things. That's like, I feel like there are a lot of positives in this, but it all depends on how far Xbox takes it. I don't want to be paying for Xbox Game Pass and see ads all the time. But if I'm playing a free to play game, I think it's it's fair. So that's where I'm at with that. So Guilan wants to know, what's Pornhub going to do? Pornhub doesn't need to put no ads out. Let's just be honest. You know what I mean?
No, hold up.
First of all, they
know
just
what MILFs are near me. Okay, I need to know.
Well, there's one in
within a 5-mile radius.
There's one in the chat right now. The only one chatting.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, I call Guilan a MILF.
Hey,
Oh,
to each
man.
own.
That's hilarious. But yeah, man, I don't think it's that bad of a thing. We gotta wait and see how how everything turns out before we say, oh, these ads are bad. I really do feel like it could be a good thing for a lot of these smaller developers. So
I can see nuisance ads, and by nuisance ads, I mean ads that don't stop your game, but they pop up in an annoying spot.
yeah,
Kind of like when you're on Google and you're just looking at stuff, and all of a sudden you get like 3 ads that pop up out of nowhere. and you go to close them, and they're like, "Well, why don't you want to see this ad?" Well, because it's in my way.
Right.
I can see nuisance ads being a thing. Um, I mean, and when you're gaming, are nuisance ads going to be that much of a nuisance? You got a huge TV, and it's going to take up a small portion of the TV. So, I could see that more than, like a stop your whole game, look at this,
Yeah.
wait, and then go right back to playing.
No, I agree 100%. I really hope there aren't nuisance ads. Who knows? It could be something along the lines of if you're in GTA, right? And again, this isn't going to happen in GTA because, I mean, they're making money hand over fist. You know what I mean? But again, you're in
Yeah.
an open world game, indie developer or a small developer, and they go to a bar and they ask for a beer, and all of a sudden they have a Miller Lite in their hand, and you can clearly see they have a Miller Lite. Or,
Yeah.
they go to a store and they're buying a case of Coke. You know what I mean? I can see that. And by Coke, I mean
Right, right.
Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola.
Yeah, not a
But
baggie.
yeah.
A can.
Or you beat the boss and you find out where local MILFs are in your city. As Dylan said.
Elden Ring needs it.
Elden Ring? Oh my
I
goodness.
will buy Elden Ring for that reason only.
Yo, by the way, speaking of Elden Ring, man, I am so tempted in trying to play that game. But man, that's like at least minimum 80 hours of your life, dude. Like, and that's just
Oh
to
my God,
beat
yeah.
the main story. You know what I mean? But I'm so tempted. And Guidance said the same here, but we'll see.
Yep.
Maybe one of these days. I don't know. But yeah, man, we'll see what happens. I really think again, it could be a good thing, but we'll see. But if you don't have anything else to say about that, we'll move on to story number 3. Nvidia. The Nvidia games leak gets more intriguing following Kingdom Hearts 4 announcement. Now, if you don't know anything about the Nvidia games leak, excuse me, about I say 6 to 8 months ago, they released a list. I'm not sure if they released it or if they were hacked and somebody else released it, but they released a list that showed a bunch of games that are going to be coming out for the Switch, Xbox,
Yeah.
PS5, PC, things that weren't announced that nobody even has an idea about. So, and a lot of these games are coming to fruition now. But this is written by Eddie McCooch on GameSpot.com. It says, with Kingdom Hearts 4 now officially announced, we're digging into the NVIDIA leaked games list once again. It says, Square Enix has officially announced Kingdom Hearts 4, which is a notable event unto itself, but it's also yet another example of the 2021 NVIDIA GeForce Now leak proven to be accurate. That's because Kingdom Hearts 4 was among the dozens of titles listed in the GeForce Now database that leaked in 2021. The fact that Kingdom Hearts 4 is a real game doesn't mean all the leaked games are genuine and will be announced or released, but it's an intriguing development all the same. It says, with the leak fresh in our minds following Kingdom Hearts 4's announcement, it's a fitting time to look back at the games in the leak. So, it says, starting off, there are no guarantees that the titles included in the leak are the real deal, as it's always possible the database was out of date or that it contained placeholder entries among other possibilities. It says, that said, the leak has already proven to be accurate time and again. In terms of unannounced games in the leak that proved to be real, Kingdom Hearts 4 is joined by God of War for PC and the GTA remasters through the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition. The leak also mentions Street Fighter 6 and Crisis 4, both of which have subsequently been revealed officially. So, what's crazy about this is that they're almost at 100% accuracy here. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
every month there's different games coming out, and it's like, oh, that was on the Nvidia games list. Oh, that was on the Nvidia games list. So, I have a list of a lot of the games that are supposedly coming out. Let's see here. So, let's see. It says the GeForce list not guaranteed. All right, so these are games that are probably coming to PC, which I really don't care much about, but it's a lot of the
Right.
Sony games, Uncharted, Helldivers, Horizon, GT7, God of War, Returnal, yada yada. We all kind of figured those are probably going to come to PC at some
Yeah.
point or another. But here are some Xbox games that are supposedly coming out. Gear 6. Let's be honest, Gear 6 is going to come out eventually, but that still kind of gets me excited. Project Typhoon, Project Woodstock, which is probably the next Forza game. There's an Untitled Initiative game, which is probably Perfect Dark, that's been announced. The Forza game been announced. The Contraband game, it's been announced. So, I mean, there's so much on here. So, as far as Square Enix, Chrono Cross Remaster, it's been announced. Final Fantasy Tactics Remastered, that has not been announced, but it's one of the ones that they're saying may come out. Let's see here. There is Resident Evil 4 Remake. That's the one I'm hoping is true because I love Resident Evil 2. I haven't played the Resident Evil 3 Remake yet, but Resident Evil 4 is literally my favorite Resident Evil of all time, so I'm really hoping that that comes out. Um, let's see. What else have they predicted correctly? Street Fighter 6. Monster Hunter 6, they're saying is coming out. Hasn't been shown yet. As far as from Take Two, they're saying Bioshock RTX remaster. I'm not sure what that is, and then also Bioshock 2022, a whole new game. So another one on here that's possibly coming out, Titanfall 3. Have you played any of the
Oh,
Titanfalls?
yes,
Yeah,
I love Titanfall.
yeah,
I mean, it's such a beautiful game, and whenever I get the chance, I'd like to go back every now and then and play with my friends because it's. I mean, you can't get better than those types of mechanics.
right.
I mean, the game is it's so fluent. I mean, it's fluid movement, everything. It's an overall good game.
Yeah, I love Titanfall. Titanfall 2 probably has the best single player campaign for a first person
Yes.
shooter I have ever played in my life. I actually probably should go back and play that again, but um, it's not much more else to this story. But how do you feel about all these leaks kind of coming true? And I mean, there's still a lot on here. Ghost Simulator 2. I know you're like ecstatic for that. Hasn't been announced yet, but
Yeah.
apparently that's coming out. Um,
You know.
was that?
Oh, Guyland's over here saying that he's going to need to borrow Titanfall.
Oh yeah,
So I'm
nah.
going to have to say, not from me. Sorry.
Yeah, I have it here. Let
Deal
me
with
see. I
it.
have it here somewhere. I don't know where, but it's on that shelf. But
Okay.
yeah, man, I just thought it was crazy that a lot of these games they have already uh, you know predicted it pretty much to the T. So
Oh yeah. Well, that's the kind of those are reliable. If it was a leak or if it was intentionally put out, at this point it's really not too clear. I mean, recently there's been um a lot of hacks going on, a lot of data miners going out. So I mean, to me, it's not impossible for it to be a leak that
right,
came out, but for it to be this true, this accurate is on one hand it's good, on the other hand it's kind of scary because how are these people getting all this information so fast,
who knows?
and why isn't it protected as well as it should be?
Right,
um
right,
and I mean, still it's a beautiful thing. We get to know about all these games that are coming out in advance and things that we've been thinking of before, like, you know what, man, it'd be great to have like a remaster of this game. And
yeah.
you're like, well, it's probably never going to happen, and then bang, all of a some leaker comes out from trash cans, like, well, guess what? And we're like, what? He goes, I have these for $5. It's gonna make your life beautiful. And then here comes all these games that
Yeah,
you wanted to
right.
happen.
Yeah, I'm kind of, I wish they didn't leak because I love the element of surprise. So now it's like we
Hmm.
have this whole list, and when they do announce, say, Resident Evil 4 remaster, I'm like, oh, well, I kind of already knew that was going to happen. Or when they
Yeah.
do, talk about, Injustice, the new Injustice game, or the new Mortal Kombat
Yeah.
game, or a new Titanfall, it kind of takes away from the surprise element. So, but
Right,
anyways,
right.
enough about that. With story number 4, Brian, over to you.
All right. So, story number 4. As of just yesterday, we did get some news here on actually another leak. This time concerning Nintendo. As we all know, last year there were some talks about Nintendo kind of bringing back some of their GBA games, um, Game Boy Advanced, Game Boy games, and stuff like that. But we didn't know if any of that definitive. As of yesterday, it seems that we did get some information leaked to the general public via Twitter. Now, this article on NintendoLife.com was written by Gavin Lane. The online subscription obviously was told out to the general public that these are the games that are going to be coming out, and the leak provides evidence of the Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games that are more than likely going to be hitting services soon. All this comes from a Twitter source at Trash Bandatcoot. I'm sorry, it's such a dumb name. But all these files got leaked on 4chan. These files were actually given code names. Nintendo seems to do that a lot with most of their encoded files. They do give code names for certain things. I believe the recent Scarlet and Violet, the code name is Titan, and that actually correlates a little bit to the game. We'll talk a little bit about that news later. So you have two code names. One for Game Boy Advance, the code name it was given was Sloop, and for the Game Boy emulator, the code name called Hiyoko. Both have been developed by Nintendo of Europe's NERD company. NERD stands for Nintendo European Research and Development Team. They're a Paris-based subsidiary responsible for a lot of their emulation in the recent years. List of games that we have that are just coming out to leak. I know one of them is like Pokemon Pinball that's coming out. We have some of the older Mario Bros. And there's actually a huge list of possible Pokemon games that are coming back, dating to like, yellow, green, red, stuff like that. There's also some older games here, some older Mario Bros. And stuff like that. I can't really get most of the names out here. Seems like most of them are kind of blurred out. But that was, as I said, information that did just kind of get slapped to the general public out of nowhere. Supposedly, the Game Boy Advance emulator is supposed to be running on the console already. There was a video, apparently, I'm going to put that, very softly in quotations. There was a video that got leaked of the emulator running already on the Switch platform, but almost immediately the account on Twitter got deleted. The video was deleted. There's no records anywhere. Nobody's able to re-find this video that surfaced. So is there surefire proof that we're going to be playing these games in the near future? I'm going to have to say no. Are we going to hope for it? Yes, because as I said, there was already talks about it, and knowing Nintendo, it's most likely going to come to fruition.
Yeah, I think for the Nintendo Switch expansion pack, for the price you're paying, it's $50 a year. You definitely need a lot more content than just N64 games, Sega games, and then what you already had with Nintendo and Super Nintendo. The N64 games, they're cool, but you're only getting like one a month, The Sega games, you got a bunch of Sega games to begin with, and there has literally been nothing since the expansion pack, added to the Sega collection. Game Boy Advance, man, that thing, that console had so many great games. Like you said, if they just add the Pokemon games alone, it's going to be a hit. They're going to get so many people signing up for the expansion pack because Pokemon is so popular, and there really isn't a great way to play Pokemon Red or Pokemon Blue or Yellow or Gold. Of course, you can go back. Well, granted, Blue, Red, that was regular Game Boy, right?
Yeah, they were the regular Game Boy, and then it went off to GBA and Color and stuff like
either
that.
Either way, playing the GBA game, Pokemon games, there is no great way to play those. And if you can play them on your Switch, HD, especially on an OLED, that's going to go a long way for the expansion pack. And I mean, there are a lot of great games. I know the Metroid game on the Advance SP was amazing. Super Mario Brothers, I think it was 3. Advance was amazing. There's so many great games. I mean, I'm looking at let me see here. Hold on. You keep talking.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're definitely right about the target audience that it could bring back. and stuff like that. And Pokemon is definitely, it's always been a hit. So bringing that stuff back, it's just, gonna make it better. I have my Pokemon Leaf Green and my Game Boy Advance, and playing it on there, it's kind of, janky. And like you said, there
Yeah.
really is no good way to play an old game, because was there a set objective? Yes. Was it hard to get to that set objective? Of course. So, games like that, you just play to play. You don't really play to beat, because
Right.
if you try to play to beat, you're going to be struggling so much. It's just there to be a fun game.
So I have right here Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Brothers 3. Great game. I don't know. There it is. Can you imagine, like, these games, man? I mean, granted, yeah, you can play them. There's Super Mario Brothers 3 on the Nintendo or the Super Nintendo or
Yeah,
Nintendo Switch Online. Donkey Kong
right,
Country
right.
3. I mean, we got some bangers.
It's a good game.
Yeah, great game. What else? Mario Kart Super Circuit. Come on. You know,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, if they do that, this game's going to be one of the first ones they put on there because, I mean, they got all the other Mario Karts. Then we got F Zero,
Yep.
probably one of the better F Zero games, Maximum Velocity.
I love F-Zero,
Yeah,
man.
man. So
Pat
they
and
actually
Falcon
just
for the
released,
win.
they actually, yeah, they actually just released an F Zero for the N64, for the F64 Switch expansion pack, whatever they call it. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
man,
yeah.
I think it's Oh, actually, so I'm reading the article and it says that Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance might be hitting the service, not just Game Boy. I mean, not just Advance. So, I mean, there you go. There
Hmm.
goes Pokemon Red
Yeah.
and Blue and Gold and Yellow and all those. I mean, dude, I think if it does that, it's definitely a going to be well worth having that expansion pack.
Oh,
Did,
yeah.
did you purchase it yet?
I have not.
Oh, okay.
I have not gotten to. I've been playing on my PlayStation most of the time. We've been kind of waiting for the release of Overwatch 2 and
Uh,
stuff like that, because it's, supposed to be coming out soon. So my Switch has just been taking the backboards a little bit.
right.
I do kind of need to hop on that, and kind of catch up with some of the stuff.
Yeah, like I said, I just got the expansion pack. I probably should have gotten the family plan because that's only $80 a year. We could have split that between you, me, and Alicia. Could all had
Yeah.
the stuff, but maybe when it's time to renew, we'll do the whole family thing and save some money. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
Yep. So, well, moving on to my next story, we're actually going to
okay,
talk a little bit about that Nintendo Online. This is going to be real short, real sweet. So a statement came out about, I think it was like 2 weeks ago or something. Nintendo made some revisions to their online service. And this was in turn with the compliance of consumer protection law. They got rid of, or coming up, like I said, I haven't been on my Switch yet. They've gotten rid of the auto renewal. This seems to help people out in the beginning. I have my auto renewal on. That way, it just saves me the time of going through, putting my
hmm
password, all that other stuff. But it seems like those who haven't already put auto renewal on automatically get auto renewal put on. They
mm,
have the option of turning it on and turning it off, from the get go. So Nintendo themselves, they went ahead and they got rid of that. They put a statement out, and I'm also reading another from NintendoofLife.com. Their statement was, as a result of our investigations, a number of changes have been made across this sector to protect customers and help tackle concerns about auto-renewing subscriptions. Today's announcement, therefore, concludes our investigations into the online video gaming sector. Companies in other sectors which offer subscriptions that auto-renew should review their practices to ensure they comply with consumer protection law. Um, Back in 2019, auto renewal was, criticized everywhere. CMA launched an investigation into Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. Auto renewal was a big part of that. But its concerns included the cancellations, refund policies, terms, conditions, and price increases. So it's a good thing Nintendo did went ahead and took a look into this, and they decided to basically give the customer the choice of auto renewal if
yeah,
they haven't already just completely gotten rid of it. And I do also agree with Nintendo that any other company that does have auto renewal should definitely take a look into it, because there could be some major implications with the law if they're not careful. And I mean, these are big companies. Can they afford that? Probably.
Of
Do they
course.
want to? Probably not. You
Right.
don't want to mess with the law. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think it's a great thing. I feel like one, they're already following suit of what Xbox does because Xbox already had something in those lines in place. So when you first sign up for like Xbox Game Pass or Xbox Live Gold, it's there, big bold letters. Do you want to auto renew when this subscription is over? You either click yes or no. So it gives you the option where, most other things don't. It just says,
Right.
you will be auto renewed and you have to cancel with us at, to stop getting charged. I believe PlayStation or Sony has followed suit as well with Nintendo, and they have actually implemented something very similar to, automatically canceling your subscription if you don't auto renew. I think PlayStation or Sony has also done something along the lines of if you do have auto renew on, they're going a step further in and checking, looking into people's accounts that haven't been on for a few years or maybe
Yeah.
even a year and canceling that subscription or sending multiple emails out saying, hey, look, you've been subscribed for a year. You haven't gotten on PlayStation Plus. You haven't gotten online.
Right.
You haven't utilized our services for over a year. Maybe you should cancel. And they're going to keep sending
Right.
emails
Right.
out. And then I believe at some point they will cancel the subscription themselves, which I think is great. I mean, for me, right now, I haven't had PlayStation Plus in probably, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months, because I haven't been
Yep.
playing my PlayStation. And it's a good thing that I usually get the cards like I'll get the cards at half off on like CD keys.
Right.
I don't necessarily put my credit card information, but I'm glad that it cancels because I haven't needed it for 4 or 5 months. Now when I'm
Right.
ready to play online or download a game, or if I get the new PlayStation now, I'll get a card again. I won't put my card information now.
Info.
For Xbox, I have a monthly thing, which I probably should.
Hmm.
I haven't played Xbox in a month. Um,
Right.
but that's not so bad because I do play a lot of Halo. So right now I'm okay with being charged monthly or yearly or whatever it is that I have on there. As far as Nintendo, I don't have the auto renew on because I know I am very hot and cold with Nintendo. Right now I'm hot
Yeah.
because my wife wants to play Animal Crossing. I got her the DLC with the expansion pack. I'm huge into Mario Kart, so I'm going to be downloading those tracks here probably tonight and start, going ham on 150 and 200cc.
Oh,
And
heck yeah.
then, now F Zero's on N64, and, I'm very hot on Nintendo Switch. But there will be a time where, who knows, 8 months from now when that, or 8 or 9 months when that subscription ends, if I have auto renew, it's going to auto renew because I'm not going to remember to cancel. So I really do appreciate
Right.
that for once the law is on our side. You know what I mean? And
Yeah. Seriously.
and then I remember, all right, 2 months. Oh, you know what? Let's get it. I have some extra money. Let me just get it because I'm gonna be playing online or whatever it may be. So you know, um,
Yep.
spend over 300 hours on Pokemon. Trust me, every time I get on my Switch, I look at your profile and I see like 325 hours on this Pokemon game, 120 on that. I'm
Yes.
like, sheesh. And then I look at Alicia's. She played like 300 hours of Fortnite, and I'm like,
Yeah.
holy! My longest
Yeah.
game is
Everything else is on Breath of the Wild.
yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Insane.
yeah.
Just massive hours on that game,
My longest
and
game
like
is Animal
three
Crossing.
accounts.
My longest game is Animal Crossing. I've played
Is
zero
it because of
minutes.
your wife?
Yes, I've played zero
Oh.
minutes. The second longest is Mario Kart 8, but if I have Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U, and I probably put probably 60 hours
Right.
on that. So you combine the two, that's probably more like 90 hours, um, but yeah, man. So that's kind of how I feel about it. I'm glad they're doing something about it, and you know what? They're not losing any money because of this.
Oh no, not
If
at all.
anything, they're protecting themselves and not getting sued. So, Bang Energy. There you go. See, that's how you do ads in video games.
Sponsored. I'm kidding.
Man,
We're
that's
not.
great. Nope, nope, no, we aren't. We are not yet. One of these days.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Yeah. I'll hit up the guy from Bang. I know what he looks like. Low scary. I'm sorry. You are. Um. But good drink. Keeps you gaming.
Oh man.
Anyways, so we are gonna go ahead. I'm gonna move on to my last story, right now, and this is actually some big news for the Pokemon community. Now I know, um, all of my information right now has just been Nintendo related. Why? Because Nintendo is just hitting the deck with everything. They are smacking us with games
Yeah.
left and right. They're, putting everything out there. We didn't think we were getting any games for March. All of a sudden, bam, two
Yeah.
games. They just out of nowhere. It was Xenoblade Chronicles and something else just popped up out of nowhere that we
Yeah.
didn't even think were gonna show up. Um, so once again, we did get another leak on Scarlet and Violet, and according to Spanish Twitter, um, an episode from a Japanese program called Pokidoko includes a notice that lets you know that some information is going to be coming out in the next couple days for a Pokemon game. They're saying that it's going to be on April 24th, which is in the next 5 days. So definitely keep your ears and eyes peeled for this information that might come out on Nintendo's Twitter. That's where they seem to be putting this information out first. Um, Now, if we move over to the leaked information that we did get, this also comes once again from Twitter. Twitter has it all.
Yes,
If you
sir.
guys want to get ahead, just like us, make sure you are on those pages. Um, First, this started off in the Asian Pokemon community. It kind of originated a little bit straight from China, I believe it was. The leak's been spreading like crazy, and it just recently got its foot into our area. Now, in the recent Pokemon, there has been this Chinese tech conglomerate. His name's Baidu. There's been quite a stir over a certain user's supposed Scarlet and Violet leaks. For now, he's being dubbed as the uncle. We don't know who he actually is. He's hiding behind this clause. Um,
Hmm.
and funny enough, as it turns out, the uncle was the one who first relayed information about a new kami. And if you guys don't know what kami is, that is a god in the Japanese language, based on Genbu, which is also a Chinese or Japanese, Chinese constellation that represents the Black Tortoise or called the Black Warrior. Um, Funnily enough, that leak was known to be Enamorus, the new legendary Pokemon in the recent Pokemon Arceus, the
Mm.
fourth mythical, I guess you could call it, for the nature legendary. She's the embodiment of basically love and stuff like that. Um, he was spot on with that leak. Now he's back with all these other all this information, Arla and Violet, and we have our another Chinese man by the name of Ku on Twitter who put out a riddle. Um, Now his riddle comes from a Pokemon game. The game, he says, is in order to decipher it, you need to learn how many editable terms there exist at first with the material in hand. And then he gives out a caution. He says, I won't be this kind next time. If you go to his Twitter and you scroll down at Riddler underscore Ku, KHU, you'll be able to see the riddle that he put out. And it is of, like I said, a Pokemon game. Now he has a screenshot put up. In this screenshot, he has a whole bunch of stuff circled. Information that he's assuming is a hint towards what the next game could be. First, we have Cynthia and her Garchomp. We have a trainer and the Titan Pokemon, one legendaries that go along with Regigigas, and Zekrom, the Lightning legendary with Trainer N. People at first thought that was hinting at starter types. The uncle disputed the interpretation, providing aforementioned info. New one could be crafted. There's the fighting dragon and electric items that are shown. They're not indications of starter secondary types, but the mascot types. Mascot types would be your said legendaries in the game. So we might be looking at a fighting dragon and electric legendary maybe um, in this game. And with Zekrom is self-explanatory because if you've ever watched any of the series, and is a lover of Pokemon, he's always with them. He was with Zekrom and stuff like that.
Mm.
Cynthia doesn't seem at all too obvious. She fits into place once you realize that one of her alternate costumes in the game, and Pokemon Masters, by the way, for a dragon slash fighting type Komodo, um, or dragon fighting Komodo. It's her suit, or get up, I guess you call it. Um, Reggie, everybody asked, does he have significance? Well, being known as Titan Pokemon and Scarlet and Violet having the code name Titan, there's a big significance in there. And he's the only Titan in the game. It could be presentation of their mascots. Again, we don't know. But off of that riddle, it was just a little bit of an interpretation of what may or may not be into the game. Most of the claims for this leak have divided into two categories. First category being your general game design. Obviously, we know that Pokemon kind of always gestates their design. There's almost always a relation to their old games. There's something that gives it away that, oh, this was grabbed from here, they implemented in here in a either better style or something like that, but they often reuse. Is that a good thing or bad thing? I don't think it's either. They do good with it either way. There's been a new gimmick described as something similar to job changing and Final Fantasy. You're able to basically change, like a profession and stuff like that, but with typings, Pokemon typings. So that kind of gives the hint of, are we going to be able down the line to change what type our Pokemon is? Kind of like how Greninja had his special ability was Protein, and you used a move, and whatever that move's type was, Greninja became. But we might be able to manually change the typing. Now, I don't know if that part is true. That does seem a little bit busted. That'll give you the option to kind of create a really strong team. I think it would, if it is true, be more along the lines of Greninja, like a Pokemon being able to change their type given like a certain attribute, something like that.
It's not to cut you off. It seems like they're really trying to, do something different with Pokemon, because let's face it, Pokemon's been the same from pretty much from the beginning until Arceus or Arceus. I don't even know how you pronounce it, but it's literally. I feel like it's been from Pokemon Red and Blue, from Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, SP, 3DS, and even onto the Switch. It really hasn't changed much, Then Arceus comes out, and they did some pretty major changes. Now, granted, I haven't played a Pokemon in a very long time, but I do follow video games, so, I see these things happening. And it looks like they're trying to get Pokemon Scarlet and, what is it, Violet?
Yep, Scarlet and Violet.
Scarlet and Violet, and further, build upon what they did on Arceus. So it's nice to see that they're trying to change some of the ways they're doing things with Pokemon, because honestly, even just as someone who likes to follow the lore of Pokemon, and it gets kind of dry. I know you play every single one, you put many hours into them, but I find it hard to believe that you're probably doing it at this point because you've already put so many hours into the previous ones. I can't see, and again, don't allow me to speak for you, but it's almost like you have to, you almost have to. Right. It's almost like when you watch a show for 6 seasons, you have to finish watching the last 2 because, you already watched the show for 6 seasons. So I'm glad to see that they're really putting in a lot of thought and work into a lot of these, into Scarlet and Violet, and hopefully, evolving. See what I did there? The
Oh
Pokemon
yeah,
game and the Pokemon genre. So, but
yeah, I definitely agree with you. Pokemon never changed much from when it came out in '99 all the way up to when Sword and Shield
right,
got released. And then
right.
right after Sword and Shield, we got the remakes of Diamond and Pearl, which in my opinion, it was a remake. It wasn't all that good. I love the original a lot better. And then, like you said, Arceus came up and just smashed. We knew about Pokemon, threw in a whole different, world that
Yeah.
you got to explore and all these other things. Actually, my friend is in the chat, DJ, and he said Cinderace Libero, which is an ability, is busted. If
As
you guys don't
F,
know what that
as
is,
F.
yeah, as F, just
That's-
emphasize that. Um, but Libero, which is Cinderace's ability, gives him the characteristics to change his typing. Also, now Cinderace is a rabbit, is looks just like a soccer player. Libero is a
That's interesting.
um, position that is played, and normally the libero um, is an all-around type player. So Cinderace getting that ability makes him an all-around type powerhouse, which means he is literally busted as F.
Yeah, I have. I don't even know. I was like Cinderace like battle. I'm like, who is
Yeah,
Cinderace? I was like, man, that
yeah,
must be
Cinderace.
An Italian Pokemon or something. I was like, shit, yeah,
Cinderace. Yeah,
it's
yeah, it
like,
sounds like a food or something. Yeah.
oh man, but yeah, man. I mean, again, it's I know nothing about Pokemon the way you do. I don't know
Right.
anything about the fact that he's busted as F for some reason. All I know is that Pika, and that's it. Like that's
Yeah.
all I know about it. You know what I mean?
Well, no, I
So,
really like that. I think you should voice act for Pikachu. Not gonna lie, that
hey
was pretty
man,
good.
whatever gets me out of lane pipe. If you know what I mean. Look, don't. Hey guys, listen. I work for a company that sells pipe. All right, it's nothing. You know. Oh man, that's great. That's great.
Moving
But
on. Um,
yeah, moving on.
some of the other stuff. I'm gonna be finishing this up. I would say shortly, but these leaks have just so much information, so I
Nah, it's
can't
cool.
guarantee anything. Um, New Pokemon and forms were kind of put out. Scarlet and Violet will have one of the largest new Pokemon selections that we've had in the last recent years, around the ballparks of generations 1, 3, and 5. Those were the basically the biggest Pokédexes we've ever had. Ranging in the ballpark of like close to 400 Pokemon,
Sheesh.
including like the national dex, and stuff like that. Um, Seems like the final types of the starters have been leaked, and they seem to follow basically what Arceus had. Sprigatito seems to be a grass dark type, final. Fuecoco seems to be a fire ghost, just like Quaxley, what the heck? Typhlosion was, and Quaxley seems to be a water fighting. We kind of figured out that was what he was going to be from the beginning, anyways.
I mean, it's a
The other
duck. You know what I
two,
mean?
yeah. What do you expect from a duck? There's always two typings when it evolves. And what else? Water flying. I mean, yeah, cool, but he doesn't look like he would be
So
something
speaking
like
of
that.
ducks, right? Would you rather fight a duck the size of a horse, right, or many horses the size of ducks? Think
I think
about
I
it,
would fight. I think I would fight a duck the size of a horse. It would be
and why?
intimidating.
You gotta give me a reason why.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's a
All right.
duck.
All right. All right.
First of all, think about this, right? You get close to a ducklings, they're gonna f
It'll
you up
kill you.
already at its
Yeah.
normal size. So a duck the size of a horse. You know what I mean?
I.
I
I
don't know.
mean, when you have many horse-sized or duck-sized horses, um,
DJ said duck size of a horse because that's dinner.
You know what?
You gotta
I
beat
can
that
agree
duck
with that.
first. You gotta beat that duck first.
I mean,
Like,
yeah,
who's
but I
dinner?
think I
Are you
have.
the dinner for the duck, or is the duck the dinner for you? Here's the thing, right? I feel like ducks are more dangerous than horses. All right. How you tell me how many times have you seen people running from a horse? Not often. How many times have you seen videos of people running from ducks? Pretty often.
But see, I mean, you're seeing more like geese. Ducks aren't like super aggressive. Geese, the murder birds.
Yeah, that's true too.
They will kill you.
I just feel like I can take on a bunch of horses the size of ducks because one, they're small, and two, like, all right, they kick my ankle. My ankles are jacked up already, so I can handle that pain. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's a tough question. But yeah, dinner, man, a big ass duck dinner.
I
Anywho,
mean,
you were saying
I'm the type to fight a gorilla. I don't think things through.
right?
So if I see a duck that's huge, I'm gonna want to kick its butt.
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
Oh, and yeah, and Guylan said it flies. The ducks fly. So a duck the size of a horse that flies, bro. Just think about it, man. And get back to it.
Terror.
I'm telling you, you will die, as Guylan
Man.
said. I don't know. I think I'd rather
Yeah.
fight the horse the size of ducks.
It's a really hard decision.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't lie on that. Back to Pokemon. If we're talking about mascot legendaries, as what Ku said in his riddle, or I should say, showed us in his riddle, because he didn't say a freaking thing. He was just like, "Look at this. I'm not going to be nice next time," and he wasn't even nice that time. The legendaries are supposed to be Dragon Fighting and Dragon Electric. Dragon Electric, that's what Zekrom already was, a Dragon Fighting legendary. We never had that. If I'm correct, the pseudo legendary Komodo or Hakamoto was a Dragon Fighting. He was pretty overpowered. Addition to all the brand new Pokemon, regional forms will still be around, so we're gonna see, we might see, or we should see, forms inspired by Spanish culture, probably. One of them will actually be based off of Ratoncito Perez. He's a Spanish mouse version of the Tooth Fairy. Now, I would like to clarify, I'm from Puerto Rico. I ain't never heard of Ratoncito Perez in my life.
I like to clarify. I like to clarify. We are from Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Okay, we are from Lancaster,
we're half
Pennsylvania.
Amish.
We are Puerto Rican.
We're Puerto Rican.
We are Puerto Rican, but I've still only heard.
I think Guylan's more Puerto Rican. He said
Fairy.
you are not, and he said thank you after
know
we
what?
clarified.
Guylan, get out of here! You don't even speak Spanish, sir. I can't even get mad at him. I barely speak Spanish myself.
But you can roll your R's though. You can roll your R's.
Of course, I can. I'm used to the regular Tooth Fairy. The Spanish mouse version, like I said, I've never really heard of them. There's no indication as to what Pokemon it is. But if we were to kind of go off of like recents, or like a trend they kind of have, there's a small mouse Pokemon aside from Pikachu called Dedenne. And that is a Spanish reskin of Le Petit Souris, which is the French Tooth Fairy, which the Dedenne is actually based off of. So you could see where there's a lot of.
By the way, on the Twitch, if you see the video, there's a picture of Ratoncito Perez. I don't know if you see it yet. That's your boy Ratoncito Perez.
Oh my gosh. I think I like Speedy Gonzalez better, but whatever.
Oh man, that's great. That's the first time I've ever heard about Ratoncito Perez. Oh my goodness.
The other form that we might be looking at is actually for Tauros. Tauros has never gotten a regional form ever. It's actually a bull that has three tails. It's supposed to be a fighting type and Minotaur based. Tauros was always a normal type, actually one of the more overpowered um, normal types, along with Miltank for like heavy defense and stuff like that. Um, it's unclear if it's supposed to be a real or if it's just going to be a straight up cross gen Evo. Um, but it's definitely worthwhile to look into that type of information because they did something similar like with Ursa Luna. Those of you guys who are familiar with the Teddy Ursa line, um, Teddy Ursa is a small little teddy which evolves into this really aggressive Ursa ring, and in the new Arceus, um, he was given a separate evolution, a third evolution called Ursa Luna, which evolved in this huge moon-based area using an item and stuff like that. Um, so these are some leaks that do seem to have some sort of credibility from the way that they've been heading, small information that's been getting out and stuff like that. And then also given, the renowned The Uncle on Twitter, who has given out some very credible information on Pokemon in the past. I can't wait to, find out in these next couple of days
Yeah,
for what's going to be the information.
yeah, that's crazy. I mean, one, I can't believe that they're gonna put Ratoncito Perez in there. Bang. Oh, I was
DJ
wondering.
wanted to know what it
I
was.
was wondering what he was talking about.
Yeah.
I was like, "Is that a Pokemon? Is his name Bang? Like,
Yeah. He's like, which bang is
does he
that?
do
I
like
don't know. It's called Lemon Drop.
does he do
It's
like the
pretty good.
NBA announcers and Bang? You know what I mean when they make
Yeah.
the three?
I
But
don't know. And he got a swish.
but real quick, do you not see that duck-sized horse on your screen right now? Like, there's.
Hold up. I mean,
you think you're gonna fight that, bro?
but why did it? See, no.
No, that's a
because that's a
mashup.
duck-sized horse with hooves. That's unfair.
There's no rules, bro. Like, I don't make up the rules. You know what I mean? This is.
You said a duck-sized horse, not a cross. I'm not trying to be fighting some Minotaur duck.
That's true. Yeah, that's actually a little scary. Hold on, I got you. I got you right now. I got you right now. This is a duck-sized horse. It'll pop up on your screen here in about a second. There you go.
Little delay I got.
Yeah, probably a little bit, but not much. It'll probably come up.
There it is. Oh, see, now that's a duck with a horse head.
We'll have to continue this.
It's gonna be unfair.
Yeah, we'll have to continue this conversation. Hopefully later this week we can finally do the Entertainment Plaza uncut with the rest of the fellas. But Guinan says you forget how small Bryan is. Well, the plazas are big in other places. Anyways, if we ain't got nothing else to say about Pokemon, man, I think we good to go.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
Man. Yeah, man. So, I really thank you guys for gotta say those are huge to him. Thank you guys.
I'm small, but I'm husky. Leave me alone.
Yeah, that's all that matters these days. You know what I mean? Husky's the new tall. But dang!
Yeah, baby.
I ain't even gonna show my arms, dude. My things are noodles right now. But nah, man, I appreciate everybody tuning in on twitch.tv/The Entertainment Plaza. Please subscribe to our Twitch channel. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/The Entertainment Plaza. Now, there is something I want to mention that I actually found out. If you are an Amazon Prime subscriber, if you have Amazon Prime, you actually get a free subscription to any Twitch channel you would like. Now, granted, right now we don't have we're not a Twitch affiliate just yet. We don't have ads on our channel, but that will probably be coming soon. So, if you do have Amazon Prime, you can log on to Twitch. You can subscribe to a channel for free, no charge to you. You just go to our channel, you'll see it highlighted, and it'll show you. If you're not on Amazon Prime, it'll be grayed out. If you are, it'll be purple. You click on that. It really helps us out a lot. Gets us out there to other people. So again, man, you are watching live on twitch.tv/The Entertainment Plaza. This will be up on YouTube in about an hour and a half, and then on all your favorite podcast services around the world sometime tonight, more than likely tomorrow morning. But again, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, everything. check out our Facebook later, and we'll let you know when we're on the podcast services. But for Bryan, I'm Moses de la Hoya Jusino Pedrosano Gonzalez Santiago Plaza Segundo, or AKA Ratoncito Plaza. Man.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I'm saying? That was kind of sexy. All right,
Oh
fellas.
yeah.
Appreciate you turning in. Peace.